I wanted to say some things about passive and active learning and what our approaches are and the things. We want to do a lot more things that are interactive in our online courses and much less things that are passive. So we try and tell faculty not to create the 50-minute lecture that's a talking head where they videotape themselves and it's all synchronized with their PowerPoint. It might be very nice and impressive, but that's not the way students are going to learn. But little mini lectures that are 5 minutes are great, and podcast chunks. And, you know, these are the, again, my Coles to Newcastle thing. You know, these are the things that you have expertise in. And there's a wonderful video here, and so I can get a break in my voice. I'm going to try and show this video. It's in YouTube, and hopefully there's a link loading. But I don't know this browser, and I don't know your network. So this is a student-created video from Michael Wesch out at Kansas State? K-State. And it's about the problem with the lecture hall of the past and the students of today. That says, if these walls could talk, what would they say? If students learn what they do, what are they learning sitting here? The information is up here. Follow along. So it's very passive. That's passive learning. That's lecturing in a big, of course, walls and desks, but students can. Okay. And so what they did, they went into Google Docs and they put a document up there, and they had the 200 students in the class all went in, all 200 students collaborated on the script for this. So a very active kind of thing that they created this. And that's over time how that script evolved as the students, they made 367 edits to this. And this is a cultural anthropology class. My average class size is 115. 18% of my teachers know my name. So if you add up these hours, they add up to more than 24, of course. Now remember, the students wrote this script collaboratively. This is one of the greatest things in learning and science, not the greatest benefactors of all. My 1841, I think that's the chalkboard.
Yeah, it's good. Probably.
So So this basically is talking about passive learning in a lecture hall and what the students do today. They Facebook, they email, they text, they do all these other things. And I think it's just interesting to think about how little some of our teaching has changed and how we reach them. And of course, that's why we want to do things that are much more engaged to get away from passive learning and to move to active learning. And that's why we have adopted these constructivist things in what we do. And people who are new to online teaching say, but what's going to replace my lecture? You know, and that does, part of that is also that mindset then, Robert, about changing. If you're going to teach online, you have to start thinking about losing some of that control that you're going to be in charge as the lecturer and you're going to be the performer. And God, you know, that's what I was really good at, you know. I mean, I loved being up on that stage with those 200 people in the room. And, you know, and telling them what they needed to learn from me. And that's what we need to get away from. And so I do have a link there down here that says about the 7 principles of good practice in undergraduate teaching. That goes back to 1987 in Chickering and Gabson. And I say good teaching is good teaching, period. It doesn't matter if we're teaching online. It doesn't matter if we're teaching in a classroom. But those 7 principles, I can say that is for online, and I can say that is for on campus as well. And the good teaching is good teaching. And I think a person who's a good classroom teacher can become a good teacher online. If a person's a lousy classroom teacher, put them online. They're not going to get any better. Actually, I think a few of our faculty have actually gotten better. They're boring and they have a very thick accent, and in the classroom and online they're great. You know, so.